We're going to do a meditation today that uses an idea called active imagination. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it at first, and then I'm going to lead you into a very deep meditation that will help you to develop your ability to have visionary inner experiences.
Greg and Jane Hamilton Parker are the world's most psychic couple. Can they speak to the dead and bring messages of hope in these troubled times? Join them for an evening of mystical talks, world predictions, and spirit messages.
Well, hi everybody, and welcome again to the channel. Today was meant to be a special patrons Zoom event. It went a bit wrong, so I'm going to do a specialist tape today about active imagination. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this is and how we can use this technique to gain kind of inner mastery of our subconscious mind. And it's a technique that I use very much in my mediumship in order to get access to that stream of imagery and information that comes perhaps from the Akashic record, comes from the unconscious mind, and also perhaps comes from the spirit world. Now, back in around about 1913, the psychologist Carl Jung came up with this idea that you could access the contents of what he called the unconscious mind using a technique called active imagination. Now, I've kind of adapted that a little bit using some of the Eastern techniques of Atana Mona meditation to kind of come up with a form of meditation that I use and teach a lot in my circles when I'm teaching people to develop their mediumistic abilities. So what happens then? Basically, we have within ourselves an unconscious mind, a mind that we're not aware of, that can manifest itself, particularly in dreams and in our waking life, in terms of imagery. Now, we can use that imagery as a very powerful way to access that unconscious content. And also, it's through the unconscious that clairvoyance comes through, of course. So we also have access using this technique to the unconscious clairvoyance, and we can make unconscious clairvoyance more conscious. So it's not the be-all and end-all of developing clairvoyance, but this is one of the techniques that I've taught my students over the years that I think you will find very helpful. So a lot of people have done this unconsciously or without knowing that they're using this technique. People like Samuel Coleridge, for example, he got the incredible imagery from his verses from his unconscious mind, but was conscious of the idea that there was a difference between what he called fantasy and imagery. And imagery is kind of slightly different to the idea of fantasy, in that imagery comes kind of ready-made, where fantasy we can change and alter and make it the way we want to be. So we're going to go for this idea of imagery. It was another technique that was also used by the Theosophists. People like Rudolf Steiner were very interested and used this technique as well. He believed this was a technique that could be used to go beyond rationalism, that the rational mind can only see so much. But active imagination is a technique that can take us into the higher mind, as it were. Similarly, the first medium of all time, the Swedish mystic called Swedenborg, would use and described a very similar technique to what I'm going to describe to you today. So in many respects, this is our way of going beyond the rational mind and into the imagination. You know, the world of William Blake, the world of the creative people, the world of the mystics, because the imagination is beyond reason and, in my opinion, a step higher than reason as a way of interpreting and understanding this universe around us. So before we start the meditation proper, let's have a think about what we're talking about here a little bit more, because Jung called this the transcendent function. That is, it transcends normal thinking. And we activate the unconscious by paying attention to it. So what I'm going to teach you in a moment is to allow your mind to create an image and then use every trick in the book to focus our attention on that image. but not to change it. Not to try to think, oh, I don't like that image, I'm going to change it to something else. That goes into the world of what I would call fantasy and dreaming and imagination, imaginings, as it were. We want to use the unconscious itself. So what we're going to do is allow an image to appear in our mind and really, really focus on it in a very relaxed and deep way. So this way we are kind of using what Jung called the organ of the soul, the imaginative ability of the brain to connect with the soul itself. So we need to observe and engage with the imagery, but we don't change it. So that's it in essence. So, okay, I'd like you now to join me on this meditation. So first of all, we need to get very relaxed. And I'd like you to now close your eyes and let all the pressures of the day just fall away. Let yourself go. Feel your breathing becoming more gentle, more rhythmical, more at peace. All the pressures of the day are falling away. Let the body fully relax. Let the eyes relax. Let the face relax. Let the arms and legs and torso relax. This is your time now. Your time to find a deep inner peace. Moments that can be yours. And this is your opportunity to once again internalize the consciousness, to find the great powers that are within you. So let go of everything external. Let go of all your concerns about the world, all your daily thoughts and all your daily worries, all the big and small troubles that plague your mind. Let go of them now. They come to your mind, let them go. If they come to your mind, let them go. You don't need them. You can come back to all those things later. You can wrestle with them again in the future, but just let them go now. This is your time to find your inner space, to find deep inner peace. You may notice how gradually your breathing is becoming much more steady and slower. The deeper you relax, the more the breath settles down. Take your attention for a while to the breath and see how this beautiful life force is rhythmically, slowly moving. Don't try to change it, just let it be. In fact, let the whole body be. Let the whole body just be beautifully at peace, at one. For a while, have this personal space. And now we're going to allow ourselves to open our minds to the other side, to the unconscious mind, to the great world of great imagery and beauty that can be perceived through this organ of the soul. So focus your attention in the middle of the forehead. Just let it be there. Make it seem as if you're just seeing through both your eyes, through the closed eyes, but also through the middle of the forehead. That the whole world is just open there in front of you. And as you gently look, not forcing the gaze, but gently look within, you may see lights. You may see gentle movements in the darkness behind the eyes. You may see in the field of your consciousness small things appearing, perhaps like wisps or clouds, Perhaps like images coming out of darkness, unfolding. And keep your attention on that space. Just watch the space. You may see lights. You may see images. Just like we see images in the clouds, you may spot things in the movement and the images and scenes you're seeing within. Look for something. Keep looking. Sooner or later, something will appear. It may be a thought. It may be an image. But the first thing that comes, put your full attention on it. If you see something, no matter what it might be some strange image, it might be a memory, it might be a picture, put your full attention on it and keep bringing the attention back to it. Look at it in more detail. Ask yourself, what colour is it? What shape is it? What texture is it? What would it smell like? What would it sound like? Get all the senses involved and keep bringing the attention back and let the unconscious mind reveal more detail. Look for the tiniest detail. For example, if you saw a face, look for the characters of that face. Look at the detail, to the eye, to the lips, to the small detail of the skin. Look at the detail with great attention, whatever image you may be getting now. Images may be coming and going, but try to hold at least one of the images and build the attention on that image. See it from many different directions. See it from above. See it from below. See it from the back. See it from the side. Twist it round in space. See the whole thing. If it's a scene or something like that, look for more detail in it and hold that attention. Hold that attention until you can see it with absolute perfection. And now, let go of it. Just let it go. Let it disappear. Just let go. Woof, it's gone. It disappears. It falls away back into the background of your attention. But keep watching, because new images might be coming. New lights might be coming. You might see sometimes very bright and vivid lights, sometimes even a purple light. You watch for that lights moving towards the eyes, moving towards the middle of the forehead. Let it all just flow. Don't just try to grab anything now. Pictures come, pictures go, images come. Same with the feelings. Feelings come, thoughts come. Bodily sensations you'll notice, and they will come, they will go. Discomfort comes, you see it, you let it go. Comfortable feeling comes, you let it go. You might see beautiful images coming, you might see fearful images coming. Just let them come into the field of the attention and let them go. Now let another image come to the attention through the third eye. Watch that image. Look for the image, let it come. You might see nothing at all at first, perhaps just this little speck of light or something, but put your attention on whatever comes, no matter how small, and take the attention into it. Zoom in on it. Come in close. Look at it in detail. What are you seeing? Let it unfold again. It will create its own thing. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make it into something else. If it's a horrible image, keep focused on it, because just let it appear. Whatever it is, we're not emotionally attached to it. We're watching these things with clarity. We're watching it with our transcendent vision. We're looking from a transcendental standpoint. Let the image build. See it with full detail. Look at the colouring. Look at the textures. Look at it from different directions. See it from all angles. What are you seeing? You might see perhaps a beautiful flower. If you see a beautiful flower, see it from above, see it below, see the sides, see its setting, see where it's at, what is its landscape that it's in. Let it build. Let it build. You can ask yourself questions, but let the image reveal itself rather than you try to change that image. Let it build. Let's see if we can take it now to a landscape. So let that go. And now take your mind and let beautiful landscapes appear in your consciousness. Find a beautiful landscape. See what happens. Just look for something. Anything could occur. It might be a waterfall. It might be a beautiful snowscape. It might be a beautiful tropical scene. It might be anything. Whatever comes to your imagination, let that scene appear. And put your full attention on it. Look for the detail. Feel the sounds in the environment. Think of the smells, the textures, the touch, the sensations of what you're seeing. Without emotion, just whatever it is, whether it's a beautiful landscape or something terrible, just it's all the same. It's just pictures, it's just images, just like we watch a television screen. We just watch what comes. We allow a transcendent view of it. As beautiful images come, dreadful images come, it doesn't matter. We just watch it with full attention and just let it go now. Just let it go and let everything flow again, and let the thoughts move into the frame of your consciousness again. You may see lights again. Those lights, you will notice, begin to get a sense of greater peace. If you've had a few negative images, they would have gone by now, I expect. But it doesn't matter. You'll probably find that more beautiful, transcendent, and sometimes colours and pictures and images that are so transcendent, so beyond this world, you can hardly understand what they are. This is where we're reaching now into the realms of what they call the hypnagogic vision. It's a beautiful flow of imagery, but just let whatever wants to come. Just watch what comes. See the pictures that comes. Do you see pictures from your personal life? Do you see pictures from the world, from what's happening to the future of the world, perhaps? Maybe images and faces from the spirit world. Let it all just come, but let it all flow. Let it all come in and let it go again. The whole thing with this is just at this stage to let it flow, let it become part of your attention. And the more you can keep zooming in, hold an image, hold it for a while, see it in detail, make sure you've got that image, and then let it go again. Let it flow back into the background of the flow of consciousness. Another image comes. Let it come into the attention of your field of attention, which is around the third eye mainly. Look to it, hold the picture, watch it, see it. Now see it in full detail, let it go again and let something else come in. So that you're now in a beautiful flow of eidetic imagery. Endless beautiful thoughts that can come into the mind's eye. This is a beautiful realm for the creative person, where you want ideas and images, they're there. Maybe some of the things you see may relate to the world and may relate perhaps even to the future. You will find it hard to hold this imagery, but just let it come and let it go. Let it come and let it go. You've learnt through this to not only access your unconscious mind, but also to an extent to control the unconscious mind, because you are letting go as well as holding on to images. So in this way, we now start to come back to our normal consciousness. Feel your body sat, let all the images go, and feel a certain amount of release that comes from letting yourself connect with all this content from the unconscious mind. You may find yourself feeling very energized from this experience. You may find yourself feeling very refreshed, very at peace with yourself. And particularly if you've kept your breathing gentle, you've kept yourself relaxed, you've seen perhaps some incredible things. And of that imagery, you can now be inspired by it. And perhaps in future meditations, I'll show you other ways that one can use and access this incredible ability of the mind to access the unconscious mind, the images of the unconscious. But also there you're connecting to things that are in other spaces, in transcendent worlds. So this is a technique of meditation. There are thousands of different techniques of meditation in the world. All of the techniques are very personalized to each person, because some people can be very, very visually orientated like this. And for you, this may be a good way to start to learn to access the powers of the visionary side of the mind. Because as I explained, we don't want to keep trying to change the images. We want to teach ourselves to focus our attention to such an extent that we can illuminate each image and make it bright and strong and brilliant. And so this gives us a tremendous power to access all this content of consciousness. And in my life, I've used it for making some of my predictions. For example, I will look into those scenes there and I might spot something and frantically write it down when I come out of meditation, and to see if it's perhaps a prophecy for the future. And sometimes we see in those places that we look into, we see other worlds, not just the spirit world where we might see those that we love sometimes that have passed over, but maybe other worlds and other dimensions and other levels of existence. So this isn't just fantasy. This is access to the images that are coming from the very highest levels of our mind, those things that transcend reason. So I hope you enjoyed and found that an interesting little meditation. And if you've had an interesting experience here, why not write it in the comments below? Because it's quite good to write those things down immediately you come out of a meditation like this, because they fade very fast, just like they do in a dream. So if you write your image and your vision, or whatever you saw, in the comments below, others might be able to enjoy them as well, what you've said, and it will help you to solidify, to crystallize what you've seen here today. Okay, well, this was a very short version of what we were going to do on Zoom today for the patrons. And if you do enjoy this type of thing, come and join me on Zoom, and we'll be doing some more like this, some live ones, where you can share your experiences and we can interpret some of the things you may have seen in your meditations.